value to a variable as well as how to display any variable in Java. You will be familiar with that. But for the remaining student, I am showing that the screen is visible to you.
Yes. Um,
The screen is visible to you.
yes, madam.
Okay. Okay, so this is our first program. We have already described what is the meaning of each and every word of this program and how you can run this program, how you can display the output to a screen like that. Okay, today I am showing you that how you can declare variable in any Java program. First of all, just try to declare some primitive data types, primitive data variables. This is similar like your traditional programming concept, just like you want to declare a whole number. For that purpose, you will use integer data types, and I am using here int a equal to 10. Okay, so in this line, what is happening? I have declared one variable whose data type is an integer, and I am also defining the value of that variable, which is 10 here. So in this line, I have declared one integer variable with a name a and a value 10. Okay. So the very next thing that how we can display this value of this variable. So this is our first SOP. SOP stands for this system.out.println. Sometimes in the lab, we will use this term interchangeably, that is SOP and system.out.println. Okay, I'm not changing this SOP. I am declaring another SOP. In your previous class, I have declared that all the thing in Java that you need to display in your screen should be within double quote. But that thing only be applicable for a string. Now you are declaring the variable. Okay, so you need to just put down the name of the variable here, nothing else. If you do that and run this, then it will display the value of that variable. Look at this. This is hello world, as well as it is showing the value of the variable a. Okay, this is 10. Now, if you want to display some sentence and that is concatenate with this value, just like I just want to display the value of the variable of a is 10. I just want to display it. Then what I will do? I will declare here one string that will contain value of the variable completed. This is our string or this is our sentence that we want to display. After that, we will concatenate the value of the variable a with the string. That's why I will put here one plus symbol. Okay, that's why I will put here one plus symbol. Now look at what will happen. I just run this program. Look at this output. This is for hello world, and this is the case, that is the value of the variable is 10. You can write down here that value of the variable a is. It will be more prominent. Okay. Now this is the case. Now, just if you just want to just run it to show you the output. Okay. So the next thing that you just want to modify your display scheme like that, the value of the variable will be in the second line. The first line is hello world, it is fixed. And for the next thing, that is the value of the variable a is. From this point, I just want to show it in the second line. and the value of the a, that is 10, will be displayed in the third line, then what we'll do? Am I clear to you? The first line will be hello world, the second line will be the value of the variable a is, and the third line will be the value 10. So how you will change your code? For that purpose, you can add extra a new line symbol, and we'll put it in a double quote. Sorry. Okay. And you have to concatenate the value of a also. That's why I am putting another plus symbol here. Don't be confused. Some of the students get confused that why this two plus symbol is used. What will be the ending of one quotation and what will be the ending of another quotation, like that. So get it clear from the first day that whenever you want to concatenate two or more string or one string and one value of the variable, then just you have to put down plus in case of you are using Java programming language. Okay, so I am just putting here the value of the variable a is, this is one string, and I want to concatenate another expression, that is a new line expression. That for that purpose, that I want to show the value of the variable in the next line. Then we have to concatenate the value, because all the thing we are using in the single SOP statement. That means system.out.println statement. That's why we are doing that thing. Okay, we are using this plus symbol. Now, just if I just run this program, then what will happen? Look at this. This is the first line. This is the second line. The value of the variable a is, and this is the third line. At this point, all is okay, all of you, all of you. How we can display an integer variable, how we can, first of all, how you can declare an integer variable, how we can assign a value to that variable, how we can display the variable value, how we can concatenate a string with that value of the variable. This is the case, that is I am just showing. I think it's okay for all of you. So we'll move for the next part, that how you will declare the floating point variable. There is an extra bit point, that is whenever you want to declare the float variable, the data type is float, and the variable name I am given here, that is g, and I want to assign the value, that is 12.8, and putting down one semicolon. This is the syntax that you have used for C programming language, that whenever you have to declare the floating point variable, you have just write down the data type, then the name of the data, then using the assignment operator, you are just assigning the value to that variable. Now, if you want to display this variable, look what will happen. I want to display this variable. I just want to show you the variable. Look, it will not execute it. Just run it. Now look at this. There is an error. It is on incompatible type, possibly lossy conversion from the double to float. Those who are familiar with Java programming language can tell me that why this error is given here. Those who are familiar with Java programming language, can anyone of you tell me that why this is happening? Because this syntax is same like that additional programming language, that is the C programming language. Or except that this is similar with our first data type declaration, that is the int a. Like that, we are just declaring one floating point number, that is g. But here we are getting one error. Why? Can anyone of you tell me that why this is an erroneous statement? Those who have already covered Java or doing any projects or any internship, they must be aware of that part, that why this line is showing an error. Any one of you?
मैम 12.8 के बाद F होगा
Why? Why? The answer
मैम
is correct.
मैम
We need
क्योंकि
to
फ्लोट
write.
को हम लोग F के साथ ही रिप्रेजेंट करते हैं क्योंकि वो फ्लोट है डबल लिखते तो हम लोग नहीं लिखते जैसे डबल जी इक्वल टू 12.8 लिखते तो नहीं होता मैम ऊपर से
Yes.
टाइप कास्टिंग वाला सीन भी है क्योंकि डबल आपका
Yes. The
मतलब
main
उसका ज्यादा
reason is
बाइट है
it is the typecasting.
फ्लोट का
Main reason.
छोटा
Yes. 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 That's why in Java there is implicit and explicit typecasting concept. So we need to go for that concept. For the beginning purpose, your answer is totally correct. That is, we need to explicitly define that this is a float variable. Okay, because every variable that is the fractional number that is treated as a double here. So if you declare double G and then you write down 12.8, then there will be no error. But whenever you are declaring another data types that is float G, so definitely you need to explicitly typecasting of this value of this actually this variable. Okay, that's why you need to write down F here. So if I just run this program, then now it will be okay. Very good. Now look at this. This is the value of the floating point variable. Okay, so our first two primitive data types is done. The next one is that is char or character. This is similar like C. If you declare here that is char age equal to just as character I want to display, and just age. Then what will happen? Definitely it will show you the value of the char variable. Look at this. This is the output, that is S. Whenever you are declaring the char variable, there is another concept that is, can anyone tell me that how many bytes will be allocated whenever you are declaring char in Java? How many bytes will be allocated in memory whenever you are declaring a character variable in Java, character type of variable in Java?
One by.
One.
Yes,
Those
ma'am.
who know Java can tell me what will be the answer. One will be for the C programming language. It's right.
मैम 2 बाइट
Why? Actually, in
मैम
Java, 2 byte will be occupied whenever
मैम
you are.
वाई का नहीं पता लेकिन 2 बाइट होता है
Have you done Java programming previously?
यस मैम आई गेस 6 to 7 years ago
6 to 7 years ago. Okay. Actually, Java supports. Look, there are. It is a worldwide language. First of all, what is the main need for creation of Java? I have described it in the previous class, theory class. That is, all there is a small group of scientists and who want to develop some application. They are geographically distributed. Okay, so they just want to run their program and they want to exchange it among them. Now suppose if you want to just know that English like statement, because there are how many number of letter are available, 26. But if you want to put another language in your programming concept, another character support, we want to just support, then 1 byte is not sufficient. Okay, actually, whenever the C or C programmers do that, then carry in Java is not like that. That is used in C and C++ program. Okay, this is not the case for Java. Whenever we are declaring one char variable in C, it will store you the 8-bit. That means 1 byte. But whenever Java used to store a char variable, it will use the Unicode system. What is the meaning of this Unicode? It actually defines a fully international character set that can represent all the characters found in all human language. That's why I am talking. Okay. It supports, that's why the reason, this is the main reason behind why Java character, whenever we are using Java language and we are declaring one character, then it will store the 2 byte instead of 1 byte because it supports Unicode. Unicode means it defines a fully international character set that can represent all the characters that will be found in all human language. Okay. It is a unification of dozens of characters, just like you can include in like Greek character, the Latin character, the Arabic character, okay, the Hebrew character, all the character and many more. For this purpose, the 8-bit is not sufficient. Okay, you need to declare it by 16-bit. So whenever you will be asked that why the character used to any character variable that is used in Java will be of 2 byte instead of 1 byte. The first one sentence that you can reply that it support the Unicode. If you tell them that it is the Unicode, then they will understand that what you actually want to say. Clear? Any doubts? Why Java character is 2 byte instead of 1 byte?
No, ma'am.
Look, if you want to store just only 26 letter, how many number of bits is required? First of all, answer me that question. If you just want to store the letter that are available in your English language, that is uniformly known by whole world, specifically, or that is provided by any traditional programming language. Whenever we are talking about any traditional programming language, then how many number of bits is required to represent character? You all know that. That is 8-bit. Okay, whenever just think about the main part that whenever you are declaring a variable, that means you are occupying some memory location. And for each and every data type, there is a specific format. There is a specific number of bits that is required to reserve for that location. And for traditional programming language, it is for character, it is 8-bit. But in Java, whenever you want to do any programming using Java, then just not you will not include only 8-bit, only 26 letter in English language. You are including whole the Unicode system. And what is this Unicode system? It will not just support the United States language. It will support all the characters, not only that A, B, C, D to Z. It will support all other character also. Suppose if you want to display a statement that must be written in some other graphical symbol, then what you will do? Are you able to do that using traditional programming language? No. Since it is a character, since it is a symbol, you need to go for the Unicode. And whenever we are talking about the Unicode, then 8-bit is not sufficient to represent all the Unicode that are available in the world. That's why you need to change it length, that is from 8-bit to 16-bit. Now it is clear why it is 16-bit. Using 16 bits, you are capable of representing all the characters that will be available in Unicode system. Okay. Any doubts or any query? Any query? Who are asking that she is not understanding that why it is 2-byte character? If you are not able to understand that, then I will deeply explain it. That what is Unicode means, what is the range of ASCII. Okay, you need to know about what is the range of ISO Latin. Any doubts? Why it is 2-byte? Am I talking to all the people who are in a silent mode?
No, madam.
So why you are not replying?
Ma'am, no doubt.
If you have any doubts, you can tell me, or if you are asking any questions, then whenever your teacher is providing you the answer, then if you are not able to understand it, then at least say something. Otherwise, how will understand that your query is over or not?
Ma'am, in line number 14,
Yeah,
why is that? What is that capital F? And why are we using that?
that is I am describing for last 5 to 10 minutes. Why this is? This is known as the typecasting features of Java. Okay, whatever be the fractional number that will be available in Java programming language, by default its type is float. Sorry, by default its type is double. Okay.
Okay,
Whenever
ma'am.
you are describing any variable except that double type of variable and you want to represent the fractional number, then you explicitly define the type of that variable. Since it is the floating point variable, I have to write down here capital F. This is the typecasting property for floating point number. If you're not providing this F, it will show you an error. Just look at this. Look at this. It is not recognized by the compiler. Since float is lesser than the double variable. So in Java, whenever you are declaring any float variable, you have to explicitly define that variable. This is a float type. Okay, just a minute. Have to explicitly define that variable as a float type. Okay. If you define this, then it's fine. Then if you run this program, there will be no error. The reason behind this that like that. The value that is in a fractional part, by default it is double in Java programming language. Every programming language has its own syntax, own rules, set of rules. Okay. Do it. It's a good question. Every question that will come to your mind, just do it. Look at for you. Just a minute. It is not working now. Just a minute. Say like that. Is it? You want to declare the float variable g using the value 12 only? Okay, so do it. Then check. Mind it, you are declaring the floating point variable. You are not providing here any fractional part. So it will be, by default, it will be identified as .0. You don't need to declare, explicitly declare that is a float variable. And one more
मैम
thing.
मैम इसमें इंटीजर से फ्लोट में कन्वर्ट हुआ इसीलिए नहीं हुआ, वो बाय डिफॉल्ट नहीं था।
कौन सा?
मैम जो ये फ्लोट जी इक्वल 12 है ना, वो
Yes.
इंटीजर टू फ्लोट में कन्वर्ट हुआ,
Here
इसीलिए
the
उसमें
value you have declaring that is value 12. And this is
यस
a whole number. This is
नो
whole
मैम
number.
यस मैम, ये होल नंबर है, लेकिन
Yes,
वो
this
इंटीजर टू फ्लोट में कन्वर्ट हुआ, इसीलिए एरर नहीं आया। वो डिफॉल्ट नहीं था।
no. I am just
Yes, madam.
saying you.
By default,
I,
it's taking the value
yes,
as
यस
float.
मैम।
I just want to say you that by default it will take this value. That is, we all know that is all the fractional number, all the floating point number will be extension of dot. Okay, but you can say it that is this is a whole number. This is a whole number and you want to convert it in a fractional number. Whenever you want to do it, then you can put down here 12.0. Your output will be your 12.0. This same concept is applicable for C. But I want to mean that whenever we are talking about the type conversion, there are lots of things behind this. Not only just you are converting an integer number to a floating point number, not only just you are converting a double number into a float number, because there is a concept of widening and narrowing. So whenever you are doing that, then at that time you need to fix it in your mind that which portion will be automatically converted in Java and which you have to manually implicitly define it. Sorry, explicitly you have to define it. That portion you need to know. And for that portion, I will take one extra class. This is not just like that you are doing that. This is integer number. You have to convert. You have to just converting in a floating
नो
point number.
मैम, मैम आई वाज सेइंग दैट 12 is an integer number and Java accept is an implicit type casting। मतलब
Sorry,
मैम, मतलब कि इंटीजर टू फ्लोट में कन्वर्ट होने के लिए जावा में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा, क्योंकि वो इम्प्लिसिटली कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा।
why? Why
क्योंकि
it will be
मैम,
implicitly?
क्योंकि इंटीजर और फ्लोट का तो मैम बाइट सेम है, और वो फ्लोट को जावा ज्यादा हायर प्रेसिडेंस देता, तो इंटीजर टू फ्लोट में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा। और जब हम लोग
Very
12.0 डालेंगे तो उसमें प्रॉब्लम होगा, क्योंकि वो डबल लेगा उसमें, तो उसके लिए हम लोग को एफ डिफाइन करना होगा।
yes, very good. This is the point I am to say you. That is this. You just making this point. That is the default. Default means whenever you want to making any floating point number or any fractional point number, that is nothing but in your fractional part. Then by default it will be 0.0. That is the point I want to say you. This is not the. This is the default conversion. Okay, this is not the case that we will just talking about the default conversion. The point that you have raised, that is correct. That is, you need to know about the range of each and every data type of Java. And when there is a conversion procedure, then you need to know which is the concept of widening and which is the concept of narrowing. At that time, whenever you are converting that narrowing and the widening concept, then you need to explicitly define the type. Otherwise, there will be an error. That's why whenever we are just putting here 0.8 or anything 0.7, we need to explicitly define there is an F. This is the concept for type conversion. But this type conversion concept, there is lots of other thing that is included in Java programming language that we'll cover in our next section whenever we will talk about this type conversion. Okay, but for the beginning or who are not familiar with Java program, so it is a precaution for that whenever they are declaring any floating point number, just declare an capital F here or F here to declare any floating point number. Clear? Clear to all of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay,
ma'am.
Yes,
fine.
ma'am.
Okay. Next, we will do one extra point so that you can perform our traditional program with that. Just like the to do it, use it. So just I am removing this. This hello world also not needed to us. Let's do it. Okay. Now we are just want to declare. Say, can you tell me that how you can display your name 10 times? This is a common question for all the programmers who have learned to do program at the very beginning stage. You have to print your name 10 times or 100 times. What you will do? In C, what you will do?
Ma'am, using loops,
Definitely, you will use which type of loop?
for loop.
Yes. So just a minute.
Do
I
I?
am doing one part, that is int. There are several loops. You can do it in various way. We are doing that in a simpler way. That is, I am separately describing int I. After that, we are just using, what will be the difference of these two? Can anyone tell me that? Declaring, sorry, less than 10, I plus plus. We are just pressing one SOP. We are displaying NSH. Will be the output? Can anyone tell me what will be the output? Why this is showing here?
Ma'am, because you have
Ma'am,
declared the
variable
I.
declaration. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, madam. Variable
Ma'am,
declaration.
you have taken two variable declaration.
Okay, this is the point. But in traditional C programming language, you have to use the variable outside of the loop. Outside of the loop, whenever you are just using C programming language, and every time you are using any control statement, you have to define the counting variable separately. But in Java, why it is not like that? Am I clear to you? Why, what actually I am asking to you? I have declared I variable outside of the for loop. And again inside the for loop, I am using the same variable. Okay. So what is the problem?
Ma'am, only you have to declare the variable only once, no? Either inside the loop or outside the loop. Inside, if you declare it inside the loop, then it will only work till the loop execute, and then it will have no work. But
So
if you
what
are
we have,
declaring it,
okay. So what do you want to say, that if I just write down this, it will okay now? Is it?
Yes,
If I
ma'am.
just declare the variable inside the for loop, is it okay now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, good. Okay, so 10 times NSHM is printed. Just but now my question is, actually not question. I just want to show you that part, that it is an extra features of Java, that whenever you want to declare any variable, that is the counting variable for any repetitive word, you can easily define it as well as, sorry, declare it as well as define it inside the loop, which is not permissible in C programming language. In case of C programming language, you have to define it outside the loop, the variable. After that, you can use it in the for loop. Okay, this is the difference between the Java programming language as well as the C programming language. But keep in your mind that this is the case for Java. You can easily declare the counting variable inside the for loop. Okay. And the remaining thing, that is the if else as well as the do while, the while loop, the syntax for this three statement is same like your traditional programming concept. So This is the part, this is the basic part or beginning part for any Java program through which you can easily develop all the traditional programming assignment that you have used in your C programming lab that can be easily implemented in your Java lab also. Any doubt till now? Any doubt till now?
No, ma'am.
Okay. So then you can, one more thing you can also ask me that, ma'am, why we are not taking input from the keyboard? Why we are providing all the variable value at the very beginning? Because in C programming language, at the very beginning stage, you are familiar with two parts, that is the printf and scanf function. Okay, for consoling or user input or output system. But in Java, I think it's my suggestion or it's my view. After getting the full concept of system and class and object as well as definitely the method, then you can go for that part, that how you can take the input from the keyboard, because you have to use the console. For using the console, you have to get the knowledge of the class. What is the predefined class that are available in Java? What are the input stream? What are the output stream? What are the object? How the method of a particular class can be accessed? Those who know that you all know that using the dot operator we can use it, but how many hierarchy will be maintained, must be maintained to access the console? That thing you need to know if you are get familiar with this concept, that is the method and the class and the object. Okay, so first of all, do some program in your Java programming language that will be helpful to you for getting familiar with your traditional programming concept that is converted to your object-oriented programming concept. After that, we will show you how to take input from keyboard. And at that time, I think from the theory class, we will get the knowledge of that what is the meaning of class, what is the meaning of object, what is the meaning of method also. Okay, so do at least one program, one or two program. We are left with 8 minutes. At least do one program. Just try to check that whether a given number is prime number or not. Since you are all familiar with that program, do it and show me the screen, or you can provide it in the chat box also. But one more thing, don't copy it from Google. Try to do it by your own. Just try to check the given number that is already taken by you, whether it will be a prime number or not. Just do it and in the chat box show your screenshot. Anyone have done the code? Then send me in the chat box.
Madam, scanner class দিয়ে করতে পারি?
If you are familiar with scanner class, then it's okay. I just want to know that whether you will be able to do the additional programming concept that is need to convert in the object-oriented programming concept. If you can use the scanner class, then you can be able to take the input from the keyboard. But it is not needed right now. Just take one variable, apply the logic for prime number checking, and display the result. That the output will be oh, this number is prime, or otherwise this number is not prime, like that. Energy is fine. Sorry, it's Gautam. Gautam, it's okay. And Shumon. It's okay, Shumon. Any output from others? Any output from others? Because we are at the end of this class. Those who are not showing the output, do it at your home and try to understand the concept of object-oriented programming, how you can convert your traditional programming, the list of traditional programming that you have done in your C programming lab into the object-oriented programming concept. Okay, try to do it. I mean, just a minute, I need to take your attendance. Okay, I am ending this class now. We will meet in the next week. Okay,
Thank you, madam.
welcome.